Cash, are we gonna go out to the garden and do a garden tour? Come on, baby, let's go. Let's go. Yes, and then Daddy will take you for a walk. Oh, he took off like a bullet. Cashy, Mama's not gonna go because she can't go right now. But Daddy's gonna take you. Yeah, he's gonna take you. Okay, Mama's gonna turn the camera around and do an introduction and start a garden tour. All right, you wait right there for Daddy. Yeah, sweet boy. Cash, Cash, Cashy, Cash. He's so focused. He needs a walk. He's such a good boy. Hey y'all, Steph here from SouthernSkyTNgardenDIY, and it is blazing hot out here. It is very early July. We're waiting for the 4th of July still. Oh, there's Cash. He's still with me. Hey baby. Hi, how are you? So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around and do a little garden tour for you. And it's about 7 p.m. here because it is still like, I don't know, like 85 degrees out here in Middle Tennessee, zone 7B. And by the time I can get outside, it is early evening, and that's even to water. And despite being out here in Tennessee where we get tons of rain, they actually put a water restriction on us, which was shocking. So anyway, we're really trying to conserve water late at night. Let the, sun kind of go down so we don't get much water evaporation. So I'm going to water tonight when I finish filming. But yeah, that's what's happening out here. It is so freaking hot. And also, I just wanted to say that I haven't filmed for a while because I had to have some minor surgery. And it all turned out good. And there was a chance that if I didn't remove a growth in one of my breasts, that it could become cancerous. So I had it removed, had an additional biopsy done, and everything came back great. So I just wanted to share that with you. Be aware, y'all. Go in for your mammograms, get it done. Don't wait. My doctor had said, you haven't had one in 2 years. Let's get in there. And then lo and behold, I had never expected in a million years to come back with anything, but I had to have what they call an excisional biopsy, and almost like a lumpectomy, and then they biopsied additional tissue. But everything came back negative for carcinoma. I'm so grateful to God. He is so good, takes care of us, and I just wanted to share that with you so you can be aware and get in for those mammograms, y'all. Do what you need to do and don't wait. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around. That's my PSA for the night, and give you a garden tour. All right, we'll start over here. And we've still got a giant sunflower going, and these windows are outside of our bedroom here. And then there's the morning room garden that's going on. So anyway, just to give you all, if you're just tuning in to my channel, and if you're visiting still and you're a subscriber, just to give you a little refresher of the layout of the garden. But the little lime hydrangeas are blooming like crazy. So beautiful. And y'all, these were like 2-gallon pots we bought from a local nursery, and we lived in this house 4 years as of this May, and they just grow like gangbusters out here. It's crazy. They more than double in size every season, and they are just beautiful. They're a very deep green, and they are called little limes. Last year they were a little bit more white than this, so maybe we've just got more acid in the soil, or just more fertilizer because we started growing in this area. But anyway, they are truly just beautiful and so refreshing in the garden, and we just let them take over and do their thing. So I just wanted to share with you how the sweet potatoes are going. As I've shared before, this plant here is some from just red potatoes I put down in there, and sweet potato starts that I got from Lowe's. Planted a couple, maybe 2 from there, and then also just put down some sweet potatoes on my own in here, and they are just doing fabulous. And then something is growing in here. I don't know what it is. Some sort of little wildflower. We'll see what it is. But I've had a really fun time this season, just letting stuff grow and then see what it is. And then I have that garden app called Seek, and I use that all the time to just see what I'm actually growing up my garden, what the birds are bringing in, and what has seeded itself from plants that I have going, and what seeded itself from last year. Oh, Cash, are you still waiting for Daddy? Cash, Cashy, you still waiting? All right, he's coming. He's coming, boy. I know, patience is not your virtue. It's not, but he's on his way. So, the zinnias going like crazy, just planted from seed, so good. And I've got like some orange daisies in there, some marigolds, and more sweet potatoes. These are from starts from Lowe's, and back in there also starts from Lowe's, and they are just going wonderfully. And then I have this little pot in here with some sad little wildflower seeds. I know, it's not very big. It's why it always struggles, but it's growing. Looks like a little bird's nest. And what have we got here? Oh, just a little bit. I thought it was a bug, but these are the strawberry plants. And I'm gonna share a video in another day or so of a tip that I learned from one of our friends who's a handyman that comes and works on our house sometimes and helps us with projects. He talked about his father would grow strawberries out here in Tennessee and would paint rocks red, and they deterred the birds from attacking the strawberries, because eventually the birds thought the rocks, or the red painted rocks, were not really strawberries and always rocks. So when actual strawberries grew in, the birds still wouldn't go after them because they figured they were the rocks. So they deterred them. And I would really love to have this uncovered. And we still have had a bird get caught in here every once in a while, but I would really love to uncover them so they can get pollinated. But I did learn from, of course, Callie Kim, a YouTuber that I follow and adore, that strawberries really don't need pollination. So that was good to learn on one of her latest lives. It airs on Mondays at 2 p.m. Central Time and noon Pacific Time. So she's located out in California, and I highly encourage you to follow her and tune into her lives, because she is just wonderful and shares so much knowledge. And the lives, there's usually like 200 plus people tuning in, and she does giveaways, and you learn so much from the community. There's a lot of regulars like me that tune in every week, so I learned so much, and that's how I learned about the strawberries. So I need to open that up and get those rocks that we painted down there. And I have harvested several of my tomatoes. My mother-in-law was out here, and we actually did get some red ripe ones while she was here. And she's always saying, I go to Trader Joe's and I get these tomatoes called poppies, and they sell them just like this, right on the multiple vine. And I said, Mom, those are Sweetie 100s. They just call them poppies, but this plant started growing and started producing these. And I think I've shared before, I don't remember planting the seeds, but these all came from seed, and there's lots of tomatoes going. So we've already harvested some and been enjoying them. And I've got some more zucchinis going down here. We haven't had very good success with any zucchinis we've been growing. The green or dark green zucchinis have done the best even as of last year, but so far we haven't had any grow big enough yet to come to fruition. But the yellow zucchinis get attacked by the squash bugs the moment we put them in, and we just are not having good success with squash bugs at all. I literally was in the main garden, and I'll share that area with you, but the whole fencing area where I had zucchinis growing was covered with squash bugs, just infested. It's just awful. Anyway, got some spinach going down in there still. I got to put some seed in. I haven't harvested hardly any, and I need to harvest some. and then put down more seeds so those get going. And then this is just a broccoli plant that I've, you know, zoom out here or zone out. But anyway, it's going to flower. So I'm just kind of letting it do its thing, and then I'll cut it down and probably put some lettuce in that pot and get a nice little covering on it. This is a celery plant actually that grew from a cutting that we did from our grocery shopping, and I've shared a couple videos on that before doing the cuttings, and that's what this celery was from. So what I'm going to eventually do is kind of dehydrate this celery. You don't get as big as stalks as you would from, of course, when you're buying it originally from the grocery store, but this is definitely a candidate for dehydrating and making it into some celery powder and celery salt, which I love in anything like chicken salad, tuna salad, just on salads, anything. So now here's my mint. A lot of it's going to seed right now. I'm going to trim it back and let some of it go to seed so I have more mint seed going. But this is a perennial, and it is in a pot, and it will grow back next year just like it did. This is all just a plant that grew back and overwintered out here in zone 7B, which it did fantastic. We had one snow in February that was for about a week and a half, but it got covered and then came back. So gorgeous mint, and I share all the time that I enjoy it in water, in my tea, in a little bubble water. So I'm just going to cut back some of the flowering that's happening. It has been so warm out here. Normally it didn't flower like this even last year, but it's been extremely hot. Not warm, y'all, hot, sweltering heat. Let me just be honest. Let me tell you how I really feel about it. There's beautiful basil going. This was all Genovese basil, and it is just going beautifully. I moved it. I shared another video. It was getting kind of eaten up, and I moved it, and now it's just doing great. There's a tomato going in there, a tomato plant going, a couple of them. There's another one, and of course, gorgeous sunflowers as usual. And I will move over and share with you the beautiful sunflowers that are going in the main garden. But we're going to speed it up along here so I don't do too long of a video. But I still have some of these wildflowers going to seed. I've just been picking them off and throwing them into the dirt and letting them reseed, and hopefully they'll come back next year also. I've got lemon balm here that I've trimmed back and then also let some go to seed so I can throw it down. This also overwintered from last year. And more sunflowers going. And this is the bed that's off the morning room. And then off the living room. Our living room is through these windows. And I've got the okra going. Nothing fruiting yet, but it has been going great, and is, again, everything is from seed, y'all. I do everything from seed. Very few things I plant from transplants. So just a few things, like some of the sweet potato starts. And I just want to share in here that this is a, it was a vining basil, and I didn't think anything was happening. It's been kind of slow growing because now it got a lot of shade, but it is doing well. And it's, like I said, it's a vining type of basil. I forget. I got it from a Callie Kim seed collection, and I forget now what it's called. It's not coming to me, but anyway, just really looking forward to that coming in and starting to vine up on the trellis. And got some green onions that we cut and put in here. Some more zucchini and squash and sunflowers and tomatoes. Y'all, it's all happening. I'll just let it all happen. Marigolds. I've got a tomato plant going in here. I keep on telling myself every day I'm gonna take it out and transplant it somewhere because it's not gonna happen in this hanging pot. So I've gotta take it out, but marigolds in there, and some parsley that I've sprinkled down. And in this one, I've also got some parsley and some lettuce in this one, along with the marigold in the center. And this is basil. I planted some basil in here too, so that's going nicely. And then in the other one, I have my broccoli greens, mustard greens. This one, and some lettuce is going on the side. This one gets pretty protected during the day, and it's wilted a lot, but I'm gonna start I started covering it during the heat of the day, and it's bounced back, and I've added seeds, and then I also pluck the leaves all the time and add them to smoothies and with my fruit, and they are just delicious, so nutritious, and they are just wonderful. So anything I grow that's green, I just throw it in a smoothie. I don't care. I throw it in our salads. This is that crazy wild parsnip that's still going that I felt like was protecting the kale down here. My kale's hanging on, y'all. It's got a few bites on it. The white moth has been flying around, so there is some damage here, but much more successful kale crop than I've had in past seasons growing it just over here. I just focused on putting it here because it seemed to do well, even though this one got really chewed on. And normally I could actually pick the caterpillars off when I saw the damage, but I haven't seen caterpillars, so I'm not quite sure what's chewing on it. If anybody out there wants to reach out and let me know what could be chewing on the kale besides the moth that lays, the white moth that lays the caterpillars, let me know, because I have not seen any caterpillars. Like I said, normally I pick them off and just throw them in the yard. And then I've got oregano still going like gangbusters, and dill just crazy. I've got to harvest and dehydrate what I can. We grow so much I can't even maintain what's growing, but it's just been really amazing, very gratifying. And I've still got lemon balm in here that overwintered also and is growing again. So anyway, y'all, yep, it's doing fabulous. And now we're gonna go over here to the tomato forest, which is not quite the tomato forest. Again, this was the clay soil, so it's been slow going, but I'll just give you an overview over here. The sunflowers, corn that just didn't happen this year, which was very disappointing because we had pretty good corn last year, and we thought surely planting it in the ground will work, but it just didn't happen. You can see how they're very small and puny. So anyway, beans are doing great, however. So I'm going to share a bean harvest and start coming out here and harvesting a bunch of the beans. I've got purple burgundy bush beans going that are a purple color, and then also yellow wax beans and traditional green beans going. And I'm not sure what started sprouting down here. That little spiky looking, this one, oops, my finger, this one right in here. I'm not sure what that's growing in there. I think it's some sort of herb or wildflower seed that got sent over by the birds. But these tomatoes over here pretty much started on their own, and then I just caged them up and let them grow. And I'm very excited to see what variety they're going to be. I'm hoping there'll be a nice Roma or paste tomato. And then one of here, oh yes, these, because remember last year, if you followed me or go back and watch some videos, I had a ton of yellow pear tomatoes. So they're not doing real great down here because I just let them grow from being wild, but you know, we've got some other stronger green ones coming in right here. Those little ones aren't great, but I'll probably pick that and use it because I use everything. But those were just yellow pear tomatoes that I didn't plant any this year. They just had seeded from last year and started growing. So it's just so dry. Everything needs a lot of water, but we'll just see how it does. And here's Cash just checking in on me. It's been a little clingy today. I think he knew I got the good medical news, and he's just been by my side all day. He's such a sweet baby. Those golden doodles, like golden retrievers, they're very sensitive. They can sense when you've been nervous and you get some news and you're sharing it, and you feel more content. And he's just been with me, keeping me company. But we've got some tomatoes going in there still. The beautiful sunflowers, yes. All right, so I'm gonna stop the video for a moment. Oh wait, I gotta share this one that's just been growing there in the corner because I threw down seed just because I could. And these are sunflowers again that I threw down seed just because I felt like it and wanted to get this area going. And this squash is doing pretty good over here. This is a combination of yellow and green squash that I planted, trying to create that other area. I did a video on this little area when I created it. And it's been doing good because it gets full afternoon sun. And I knew it'd be a great area to do zucchini and squash in. In fact, my husband was just saying today we need to extend it out a little bit on each side so that we can put a few more pots in, because things are just doing very well over here. And I haven't had really heavy squash bug infestation going, but I still have to inspect everything still. I'm always checking everything. Oh, there's something. What is that? What are you? What are you? And then, oh, there's some squash bugs, y'all, right there. And all I do is just rub them with my finger and get them off of there. Yeah, goes off of there. They discover wherever. So I do inspections daily for squash eggs and squash bugs. So it's just been so hot. I'm trying not to go out during the heat of the day since I was post-surgery and really feeling the intensity of the heat. But my husband's been really helpful at trying to go out and check everything also, and always comes back with a report on how many squash bugs he's killed. So I'm gonna pause the camera here, flip around, and go over to the main bed. So there you go. You got the proud flag of Tennessee up there. Got the tri-stars happening. Thought while I was walking back over to the main garden, I was gonna check in on our little greenhouse here and see how some more squash transplants are going. We're trying so hard, y'all, trying so hard, but we have this one set up just in the rocky, you know, kind of area over by our main bed, over by the fence. It's a little bit shaded from the big tree we have. We have a chestnut tree growing out here in the backyard, but we do have some green squash going in there. There's a shot of our tree, and I just walked through a pile of leaves. But anyway, it's got some shade a little bit from our magnolia trees and our giant chestnut tree that has just like kaboomed since we moved here even 4 years ago. The previous owners had planted this tree, and I have video of when we moved in around Mother's Day, and this tree was like half the size it is now, and it was blowing in the wind, and I was gonna cry if we lost it. The wind was so intense. I wasn't used to the storms out here, but now I'm a little bit more acclimated to them and really truly enjoy a good storm, y'all. Nothing better out here than a good lightning thunderstorm. Kind of makes the heart go pitter patter. So anyway, all right. So over here I've got the tomatoes going that I had put in from, again, y'all, I think transplants. I just don't remember planting so many of those little sweetie tomatoes, but they're all growing in this formation. So these probably need some more water. They're not quite as full, but I'm just gonna enjoy whatever grows. And maybe I've created my own hybrid between a cherry tomato and a paste tomato. We will see, we will see. But of course, the zinnia is going like crazy. Another tomato plant in here going like crazy, bushing out. And I just want to share real quick, because I posted a video where I had planted pieces of sweet potato, and some of them already had vines growing out of them, and then some were just plain old little cuts of sweet potatoes, no vines. But I just stuck everything in the pot. And I actually had a viewer post on my videos like, you can't do sweet potatoes like that. You're supposed to do them from slips, which that's what I may have said starts, but they're slips, and that's what I get from Lowe's every year. But every year I have also just taken sweet potatoes that we haven't used and bought from the grocery store. They're not seed potatoes. They're just ones that we buy and haven't used. And if they start to get some growth on them, I just throw them into the ground. Well, I want to let that viewer know, if they ever tune in, this is what's been happening since that video almost like a month ago. They are growing like gangbusters. This one not as big, but there are potatoes going down there, and they start growing, y'all. They start growing. And this one just going like crazy. And these are all just from potatoes I threw in the ground, and also ones that had growth. So please go back and check out that video. I'm very much a YouTuber novice right now, so I'm not sure how to go back and link those videos, but please go back and check my previous videos and you will see where I did the planting of these, and this is what's happened since then. So I'm really proud of that. And to that viewer that said you can't do it that way, I just have fun, I experiment, I challenge nature, and I just see what happens. So I have no doubt I have potatoes growing down in there. Then over here in the, I call it the Octagon Bed, I have sunflowers going, of course, like crazy. And I have carrots down in here. I have the chives going and going to seed. I haven't used as many as I should, but I need to cut a bunch and freeze them. In fact, when my mother-in-law was here, I cut a bunch and we put them in the salads. And she's like, what is that in the salad? Those little green pieces. And I said, Mom, those are chives from the garden. And she says, oh my gosh, they are so good and so onion flavored. Like, we need to add those to more salads. So I always do, but I gotta harvest more. And I have more tomato going in here that just started growing, and a cucumber plant that seeded itself and started going. So I got it contained and looking forward to getting cucumbers off of that. And more crazy wild big onion. We moved this one out into the full sun, this zucchini, because it was getting stunted and getting infested by squash bugs. So I don't know if anything will ever happen from this one, but we're letting it do its thing, as we always do. More tomatoes, more sunflowers, and I've still got thyme, more marigolds, zucchini. The sage is really popping. It was just struggling there for a while, but it is just going good, and it's got a big zinnia in there growing with it. Really fun and exciting at the time, like I said, and marigolds and onions. And then over here is, I'm going to give you a shot of the sunflowers growing in the main bed. They are just beautiful. I love when I drive past our house down the road here and I just see all the sunflowers popping up over the fence. So fun. And of course, we never expected this many, but they are just beautiful. I'm gonna zoom in on this one over here that has so many going. And we love the ones with the multiple heads. Oh my gosh, this one is just popping. And the bumblebees are just flying around right now. One just zoomed right in on one. We've got one enjoying itself over here, just having a little love affair with our sunflowers. We love it. It's your new girlfriend, little fatty. Call them little fatties, just love them. But yeah, we've got the bees buzzing around, just love it. So I wanted to share with you all the sunflowers that are happening. And of course in here, tons of zinnias also. And I have cilantro that went to seed down in here. Somebody once asked, a friend of mine once asked, what are those white flowers in there? And I said, that's cilantro, but now it's going to seed. So I've thrown down some in the ground, and I'm gonna be out here in the cooler weather in the evenings, just trying to harvest a bunch of that cilantro so that I have it to use for another season. And then I just have to share y'all right here. My husband built me a gate to get into the garden, because I have shared that, you know, someday you're gonna come home and just find me face down. It's how I'm gonna go in the garden, but that's not a bad thing. So I'm not trying to be morbid, but it's an obstacle course here. So he built me a gate. I would like another one over on the other side, and then I'd also like to have one built over by the morning room, because that is a challenge to get into. Our drain pipe is right there, and I have a large stake up where I have to climb in there to get to stuff if I want to prune or harvest. But that one over there really needs a gate, like right in that area right there. It's got blurry, but right in that area right there, I need a gate. So I just have to get more supplies from Lowe's. There you go, y'all. There you go. Okay, let me zoom back in here so you can see all the beauty. And again, gonna harvest a lot of this cilantro growing in here. There's still lettuce going down in here. How much of it is really edible, I don't know. Let me get down in here to give you a view of it. But it can still all be thrown in smoothies, and I have one just about every day. So if I don't have a smoothie for breakfast, then I make one for lunch as a snack. When I want to munch on something that's not that healthy, then I can just have a smoothie. There you go. So anyway, that's a bunch of lettuce going down in there, and more zinnias, and then butternut squash going in here. I just threw down some more seed because when I was kind of a little bit absent due to my surgery in the garden, the squash bugs kind of took over and destroyed my butternut squash here. So I had such good butternut squash last year, but I put down some more seed, so we'll see what happens. I also added some lettuce seed down in here since it gets a little bit of shade also. So we'll see if I get any butternut squash this season, but so disappointed because the squash bugs just took over and the plants were doing so well and just thriving. We'll move over here to the Aldi Tower, and I've got arugula going in here. The wildflowers haven't bloomed yet, but I've actually got cilantro going in here and lettuce in any spot that's available. Got a little bit of Swiss chard still struggling to get going, and hopefully that'll be happening. My spinach was there and then kind of died in the heat, but some banana peppers I planted in here, and now I've actually got so much moisture, I think I got a mushroom in here. Yeah, little mushroom. We're gonna throw that out. So there you go. Some parsley, and it looks like either a weed or that's probably like a lettuce seed that started growing down there. And then these back beds is where we had the three sisters going, and the beans really took off, but again, the squash bugs started attacking everything. I mean, they are brutal out here, y'all. This plant has tried so many times to fruit, and every time it doesn't get fully pollinated, and then I'll come out, have to pluck the unpollinated yellow squash off, and then I see it's infested again with squash bugs. So, all right, no squash for us this year so far, but got to enjoy the beans, and I'm going to do a harvest on my, a video on my bean harvest. I've got some in there that are somewhat edible, and then the others will be seeds. I always save all the dried seeds. I've done several videos on dried bean seed harvest. More sunflowers, y'all. It's not picking up the true colors of them, but they are so beautiful. So beautiful. That's the velvet sunset ones. I love those. They're very deep orange, red color. So that's what's going on back here. The corn didn't happen either back here that we planted, so that's a lesson learned. I think it was just too shaded. Gonna have to figure out where the corn will do its best. And then we've got the cucumber plants going over here. This one's starting to really take off now and get flowers. So hopefully keep that nice and watered in the heat, and we'll start getting some cucumbers off of this. There was a little one growing down on one of the plants here somewhere. I've got two, and I mostly plant market more and pickling. So there's a little one going down in there, and there was another one down in here somewhere. Oh, there it is, but it's rounded. Oops, there we go. So another one also round. So when they're round, I always think they're stunted a little bit. They're not really taking off as much as they should. By this time last year, we had so much cucumber. So, oops. So we'll see what happens. We also planted zucchinis in here, and then we're like, okay, there must have been a bunch more seeds because we got a bunch coming around the side. So we'll see what happens there. And I think this video is going to be a little bit long, but I haven't done a tour in a while. So just wanted to give you an update on what's happening. A lot of the zinnias were all blooming beautifully, and some of them started to die back. So we're gonna have to deadhead those and see if we get more in, and maybe I'll throw down some more seed also. But sunflowers for days, y'all, sunflowers for days. And we save as many heads as we can. The real viable heads, we save them. And so we don't have to buy any sunflower seeds. And like I said, they always say that if you save your seeds, they become acclimated to your area, your soil, your environment, and grow even better. So I think that's what happened with these sunflower seeds. But it was only from like last year, like 1 year that we, or maybe 2 years, that we saved the seeds from. Yeah, 22 and 23. These are seeds from 22 and 23. But wow, they grew amazing, just so beautiful. So I'm gonna go over the fence here without trying to make you all dizzy. Okay, y'all, so that concludes my tour tonight. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Anything that you can give feedback on, or you see that, you know, you could provide any advice on, please let me know. But I'll keep you posted how things go. And now that I'm a little bit more post-surgery, I can get out here and start putting down some more seeds. And like I said, y'all, take care of yourself. Be self-aware, check your body, listen to your doctors, go to your visits, and just God bless you all, and take care and keep growing.